Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at a unlimited SwordCraft deck. This one piqued my interest as it doesn't really run what you'd usually expect a SwordCraft deck to run, and it does tend to rely on Dual Blade Fury as your kind of a big win condition, with the double attack of course on any of your ambush followers, which is great. You are only running a single Sky Commander Celia, mostly for the Hope strategist in this situation where you're really going to flood, or just for some extra reach with Celia occasionally, which I don't tend to use quite as often. Sky Gladiator, another interesting one, can't be attacked, so obviously that synergizes really well with Dual Blade Fury, which is obviously why you are running a single one of it. And it also of course gets a decent ability there where you can make other followers unable to be attacked, which again synergizes really nicely. Otherwise, there are a few staple things, of course, like the usurping package, which is always good. And then just some buffs, and of course, things like Dance of Usurpation to clear some boards out, Ivory Sword Dance, and stuff like that do a wonderful job clearing board. And then Zeta, the Crimson Lancer, because it does give, of course, the Storm and is still a decent rush follower. So we're going to get right into this and check it out. So the first game for this video is going to be up against Rune. And with the nice Wizard of Oz skin, I would actually love to get that. Starting off with a, not the best, but an okay sort of hand. I don't mind the Quick Blader, and the Dual Blade is actually half decent to be able to use in this situation, which is actually pretty good. Especially when you can Quick Blader on one when you're going first. It always feels amazing. Will of Destiny is actually a pretty solid turn 2 play, meaning every single start of turn, as long as we have a follower, we will get a buff. Now I really need a way around this. That's where things get a bit more interesting. Forge Weaponry is good for damage, but dealing with this 2-2 is not fun, especially when Glow easily returns that Quick Blader. Makes it a little disappointing. At least Quick Blader plus another weaponry is going to give us another 3 damage, which does put our opponent in a bit of a precarious spot because they do have to manage to survive.
Quite talkative for someone without a brain.
Their biggest advantage is, of course, that they have already got a pretty decent board to work with. Indomitable Knight is actually still a half decent card overall, especially when you can consider its healing, getting us in decent range for a Dual Blade Fury. We just gotta hope they can't wipe this out this turn, at least not easily, but it does look like they're going to have that pretty reasonably easily. It is going to cost double trade though. And of course we end up with another one, which is perfect. So Vayne is definitely some of the best selections in this sort of matchup. Anything with low stated followers, Vayne can just absolutely destroy, especially when you're setting up for a lethal. So back to back, he definitely becomes very difficult to deal with. And that is going to be game. With that buff and the Dual Blade Fury, we have 12 damage. So for our second match, we are up against Sword as well, so sword on sword action. Of course, I haven't seen a lot of people playing the variation of Sword that I am playing. I believe one of the HSK guys, the one I originally found this deck from, and it was very interesting looking, so I thought, one, I'd give it a good shot. Plus, it didn't seem to be popping up on ladder a lot, so that made it even more intriguing. So Grand Auction, so they are playing, of course, Spartacus Sword. So all we can really do is go as fast as we can, and with his current hand, not happening. Spine Blade, probably my best option. Sending out even more stuff. At least Ayla is actually pretty decent. And honestly, the Tanya plus Ivory is actually an insane combination of cards. It's probably one of my favorite things to use a lot of the time. You can very easily do the 5 damage off that without even trying. And since it's very easy to pre-set up in advance. Did make a small error there. Definitely should have played Servant first, then went for that Evo. would have been, of course, much more beneficial. Not that it would have made a huge difference since frontline Cavalier come down anyway, but that small difference would be enough for me to really be concerned. So now the Shadow Enforcer play, plus the Ivory. And I get to keep the 5-3 in the back there, to use again next turn. But we are in trouble because they are, of course, going for that Spartacus play. So turn 7 in Unlimited is definitely the most dangerous time when you're playing against this deck. They can either absolutely destroy you or give you at least one chance. So I decided to go for the sword. Since I do only need 16 damage to win this, provided they don't ward up, but this Master Dealer is a ward, so not fun. I'm going to have to deal with that now. And I decided the best way was Lord of Flames. Now I am holding off on that ambush because Dual Blade is definitely the best way to do it. And they don't have a lot of ways to remove ambushed followers in Spartacus Sword, so really they're just banking on being able to win off this draw here, and it's not looking good for them. They're down to one card. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be it for them. One card. How unfortunate. So close, yet so far. It's definitely one of the risks of playing something like Spartacus Sword against any deck. It's just, if you don't hit that combo on time, you're pretty much screwed. So this deck was definitely some fun. It still does rely on, of course, a reasonable Storm sort of setup where you can use something like Dual Blade to really just cream the opponent with double attacks. So not so much Storm, but that double attack kind of big damage burst mechanics that Sword has become sort of known for at this point. They are either hyper aggressive or something like this where you go for one big chunk of damage at a time. But overall, a very interesting one, a unique spin on something I haven't really seen a lot as far as Sword decks go, using the Dual Blade Fury, which I don't think I've ever really seen played much at all, so definitely was a fun deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Until next time, guys, see ya.